Take it away, Lewis.
Welcome to Silver Screen Sips, a podcast where three idiot friends talk about movies, and now we discuss whatever the fuck happened at the Oscars last night. I'm your host, Chris Rock, and here are my guests, Will and Jada Pinkett Smith.
Hey yo, it's your girl, Jada.
Oh my god. I'm with Smith. Hey yo, that's hot. Okay, so anyways, hey guys. Okay, we're back to normal now. So,
welcome guys. You're about to enter the most chaotic episode yet. Let's just be honest.
Yeah. Welcome to the danger zone. Today we're going to be talking about episode 9, guys. This is our last episode of the Star Wars franchise. This is crazy. We made it so far. 9 weeks. Think about that. That's over 2 months.
Yeah, I thought we'd definitely not be able to do it in a row.
I honestly didn't think we'd last this long. I thought it'd be like 2 weeks and then I'd be like, I'm done with this.
Nah.
But I enjoyed these nights. I enjoy talking to you, gentlemen.
At least that makes one of us.
Damn.
Oh, should I just kick Lewis?
No, you got to walk up on stage and slap him.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so today we're talking about episode 9.
Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker, guys. It's gonna be a controversial episode for sure. We're gonna have a lot of heated debates. We're also gonna talk about what happened at the Oscars last night because we are recording this on the 28th, and the Oscars were literally yesterday, and it's blowing up everywhere right now. So we're gonna talk about that as well.
Yeah, hopefully you guys are not tired of the slap memes by this point because there are so many. There was merchandise within the hour.
You could say some people are slap happy.
Okay, we're gonna continue as if that didn't happen.
So
I do have to say, as a film, Rise of Skywalker does slap a little bit harder than Will Smith.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Are you Amy Schumer? Because you just stole my joke.
My god! Oh shit! Oh shit!
Guys, today's gonna be fun.
No punches are being pulled here.
Nope.
No slaps are being pulled.
Okay, so want to let you guys know ahead of time, there will be spoilers ahead for movies and shows, so you keep watching, but just know you've been warned. Also, we are also going to be mentioning a lot of the Oscars, so if you're fed up with that, skip that part. I don't know what to tell you. A few things before we dive right in. Our listeners episode is on April 18th. We have our suggestions already locked in for that episode, but if you guys have any movie suggestions that you guys want us to review or rate or talk about, email us at silverscreensips@gmail.com and we will feature you in our next listeners episode. So again, that's April 18th. If you guys stay tuned till the end of this episode, I have an announcement about what we're doing for our next episode, because obviously there is no Star Wars episode 10. So stay tuned because it'll be fun. One more thing. We are at 74 right now for followers, and we have 2 weeks left before we get to 100. So Lewis is shaving his chest as we speak.
Hold on, what now?
I hope you have to now include like a buzzer sound in the background.
Yeah, we have 2 weeks left, guys. 2 weeks left. We have next week's episode and the listeners episode, and then after that, it's locked. So if you guys want Lewis to get this tattoo, please share the podcast or our Instagram or anything. Okay, I'm done talking. Go, Lewis. Go. Action.
Welcome to Big Lou's Big Sips. So, I know we had another drink in a different episode called Dark Side of the Force. This episode's drink is just called Darkside.
Okay, so don't get them confused.
Don't get them confused. They're also going to be very different origins and very different ingredients.
Okay.
So in this case, you have the Darkside cocktail that was created by the Washington, D.C. bartender Adam Bernbach at a now closed bar Pilar. It features gin and Barolo Chinato, an aromatized wine similar to vermouth that includes quinine bark, same ingredient found in tonic that gives tonic a bitter edge. Hayshaw's Bitters brings it all home with its trademark of anise, which if you don't know what anise is, it's like a very sweet alcoholic drink. It almost tastes like agua at the end. In addition to making a lot of local drinkers happy, the dark side was also included in Derek Brown's book, Spirits, Sugar, Water, Bitters, How the Cocktail Conquered the World. Sounds like a dope book title, honestly.
It does.
According to Brown, Bernbach ran a unique program called Cocktail Session. Guests could cozy up to the bar and order a cocktail tasting where Adam would fix 3 original cocktails using twists on classics, he says. That's where the dark side made its first appearance. Bernbach's recipe confirms that drinks don't need more than 3 ingredients to be delicious, but as it became more popular, the dark side changed tack a few times. Certain iterations featured Plymouth gin, while others call for London dry. You may find the cocktail garnished with a lime twist and star anise pod, while other recipes, including this one, call for a cherry. Whichever route you go, dark side is rich, moody, and complex. The Chinato's bittersweet character and baking spice notes merge seamlessly with botanical gin and yield a drink that is reminiscent of the classic Martinez, but with the quality all its own. The modern classic is a nod to DC's influence on drinking culture and a reminder that the East Coast has more than one influential cocktail city. Ingredients will include 2.5 ounces of gin, 3/4 of an ounce of Barolo Chinato, 3 dashes of Peychaud's bitters, and then for garnish, you can add a brandied berry.
Now, what's the second? I don't want to know what that. I've never heard of that one before. What's the second?
Barolo Chinato.
Yeah.
I've honestly don't have much experience with it either. What I understood, it is a wine that's been put through an additional process.
Yeah.
That makes it not as strong. It's much closer to vermouth, which is what you normally use in martinis.
I think I know what you're talking about now that you said that.
This is essentially a gin martini, but with some variations. And also the fact that it's like a dark red color, it's pretty cool.
What would you rate it first, Lewis?
I'm not a martini person, but I would definitely want to try this. I'm gonna give it like a 4 out of 5.
Oh, okay, that's pretty high. I was actually expecting you to say like a 3, but a 4.
We're gonna say 3.5. Actually, I'm gonna drop it.
Oh, okay. Well, we dropped
it. And there he goes.
You made me rethink.
Manipulating at its finest.
Yes, manipulation.
Mm-hmm.
Love that.
Isaiah?
I've never had a martini, though. I always wanted to try one. Might try one this weekend.
It's poison.
It's poison? Oh, great. You're not selling it to me, bro.
No. So, listen, I tried to make a martini for St. Patrick's Day when I was still running my Instagram, remember?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember tasting that, and I was like, how the fuck do old white men drink this shit? This is poison. Like, it tasted so fucking bad.
Here's the thing. I don't think I've had a martini, like, because when I think of martinis, I think of the ones with, like, the olives in it, and that just sounds disgusting to me. But I'm open to what this drink is because it sounds a little more on the sweeter side and not so much on this, like, gross, I don't know if bitter is the word or not, but, you know, I just recently tried gin for like one of the first few times, and it was really good. So
yeah,
I'm open to it.
Gin is a surprisingly good liquor that I didn't know before. Like I used to think it was shit.
I thought I was going to hate it, and then I had it, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. When I started playing around with Hendrick's gin, wow, that's actually very good, very flavorful. So we have my rating at 3.5. Isaiah's what?
I give it a 3 out of 5. I give it a try, but I don't think I'd like it because martinis I don't think are my thing.
Okay,
to be honest.
All right,
but I give it a shot.
And finally, Beth, you said what? You said you weren't like a gin person, but we got new to gin.
Yeah, I think I'll do also a 3 out of 5 because it's like it's a half and half for me. I don't know if I'll like it or not, but I'm open to it.
Good. That wraps up Big Lou's Big Sip today.
Amazing. Well, now before we talk about the Oscars, I was going to bring up my question, but my question was, what did you think of the Oscars? So,
despite the fact that we all said we weren't going to watch it.
Well, I did
not actually watch it.
Yeah, I've just seen snippets of it. So I figured we'd just talk about the highlights and the downlights, the lowlights.
Downlights.
And then share with people our opinions on that because Isaiah, you said you have all the winners and the losers pulled up, so
I wouldn't refer to the losers, but yeah.
The failures, sorry.
It's so rude.
So we can talk about that, and then we can also talk about just some of the other things, just little minor things. Nothing crazy happened as far as I know.
Minor things,
I was impressed at how high pitched that was.
I was also impressed by that.
Ariana, who?
Thank you.
Let's start with should we start with the biggest news of the night?
That depends. What's the biggest news?
One word. That's my word.
Clap.
No.
Will Smith? Are you here?
Yes. Thank you. Isaiah got
All
it.
right, let's just get into it. All right. Now, obviously, for some reason, everybody's got an opinion about this. It seems the majority has taken two different sides of, yeah, Will Smith was in the right to go and do that and defend his wife. And then, obviously, the other side is he shouldn't have done that. Violence isn't the answer. I have things to say about both sides, so I will let Bethany go first, and she can not pick a side, but like just give her opinion on the situation.
So, I think it was entertaining to watch. That's for sure.
The Oscars entertainment value has never been higher.
Listen, I think that yes, he was in the right because he was defending his wife. However, there's a time and place. And that time and place shouldn't have been in front of live television. And maybe he could have, after the show, gone up to him and be like, yo, don't talk about my wife like that. Like, I get you were trying to make a joke, but like, that's disrespectful. Don't do that again. You know, a little more
professional, adult,
professional.
mature.
Yeah, professional, I think is a good word. Because like, I don't know. It's a tricky situation. It's definitely like I can see where both sides are coming from. However, I think it's definitely getting blown way out of proportion at this point. It's like, okay, it's over. I think that it's getting blown out of proportion. Don't get me wrong. I love the memes. They're so funny to me. I think all these people have an opinion on how he should have and should not have handled it. And it's like, you know what? It happened. And let them deal with it. I don't know. That's pretty much all I got to say.
Mm-hmm. Lou?
So what confuses me is Will laughing initially at the joke because he was like,
yeah, the first
funny.
time. Yeah.
Haha, that's funny. And then like everyone was like, haha, Chris Rock is just roasting Jada Smith because she's bald. No big deal. And I was like, that's kind of cringy. But I also like, I guess knowing some of Chris Rock's work, don't feel like that was written by him. It was kind of just in his script and he had to go with it.
It was apparently they said it wasn't scripted. That was just something he threw in.
Oh, so he just ad-libbed that real quick?
Yeah, because he wasn't hosting anything. He was just presenting. He was just supposed to show up and present the award.
Well, then he just got caught up at the moment.
I mean, come on, it's Chris Rock. I would have expected him to like just ad-lib something.
Yeah, exactly. So in either case, I thought the initial laughter followed by the look, followed by the storm up onto the stage on live global TV.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that was like the most insane part of it. Was he just literally just stormed up there, and I thought he was going to say something to him, or just
I think Chris Rock thought the same thing too.
Yeah, no, everyone thought he was just going to rip into him like there, or like say some other dumb shit in the mic, and it would have been fine.
It's a Kanye moment.
Was it like a Kanye moment? But then all of a sudden he just fucking whips out that like weird karate slap. People are saying like, oh, this was totally scripted or whatever. But if you're like watching Chris Rock's face after, you can tell like he's very confused. And if you look a little closer, he's actually trying to talk out of the right side of his mouth for a little bit.
It's probably because it's numb.
Probably because his face hurts. But he doesn't like, rather than, like touch it and be like, ow, that hurt. He's like being a great showman. He kind of just looks to the back at the people, like the director for the Oscars or some shit. And he's like, am I supposed to keep going or?
Yeah. And they're just like, go.
And then they're like, go. And then everyone's like, oh, that was so funny. That was so crazy, whatever. And he's like, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. And it was just like, oh,
okay.
This is not a bit.
This is not a bit. This just escalated very quickly.
Yeah. I got chills on the second time he said it. I don't know why. There was so much anger, and I was like, "Oh,
yeah."
The second time he was like he really got his point across.
Yeah, I was like, "Okay, yes, sir. I will never say her name ever. I am so sorry.
We're gonna be canceled."
I'm surprised we haven't been at this point.
Well, yeah, when I said the communist regime or Tupac's hiding place, I feel like we were going to get canceled. But
did we include those jokes?
More
I feel like we cut them out.
Yes, we did.
Oh, we did?
No, we cut them in the intro.
Yeah.
Oh, but we couldn't keep my horror joke though.
Okay, well, Isaiah, the difference is I'm actually funny.
Oh wow! I just got slapped.
Yeah, I just Will Smith you.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna Smith you so hard.
Shut up.
What have we done?
If there's a will, there's a slap. I'll stop.
Oh my god. All
Oh
right.
my
Anyway,
I hate you.
I'm done for the night.
so
Sorry, we're cutting into Isaiah's time here.
Okay, yes, go. Isaiah, go. Hurry up. You're taking too long.
oh, okay. Okay, yeah. So my opinion about it is that I think it was not a good move on Will Smith's part because it wasn't necessary. I mean, sure, yeah, he could defend his wife, though I feel like Jada Pinkett Smith can defend herself in a situation, and they should have. He should have handled it more maturely because
They're adults.
yeah.
Well, that's my question of the day. All right, Isaiah, do you have anything interesting about this film to talk about?
I do. Unfortunately, I must announce that for our first fact, this will be The Rise of Skywalker is the last Star Wars movie that John Williams will compose for. It is his final Star Wars project. He will no longer do any more.
Sad.
So he's not retiring, not like a full-on retirement. He just won't do any more Star Wars projects. Yeah, so he is Star Wars out. I feel like everyone was after this point. Sally Guinness, granddaughter of Sir Alec Guinness, plays a First Order officer in the movie. There was many cameos. That was one of them. In the Pasana Desert, the sinking sand that they all sink through is actually like 30 tons of black beans that they imported.
Black beans?
Yeah, black beans, because they didn't want them to get hurt in actual sand, so they put them a bunch of black beans because apparently they're soft. But they did have to hold their breath, and because they didn't obviously can't inhale black beans. But I guess it's harder to die in
Interesting
black beans than it is quicksand. So yeah, so that's what that was. Now here's where we get a little pissed off. Screenwriter Chris Terrio said they knew from the beginning that they were going to have a Heart of Darkness-y structure of the film. Now, if you don't know, Heart of Darkness is a book written by Joseph Conrad. It was basically inspiration and the story based for Apocalypse Now. So it's weird that they would say that's what their structure of the film was because you can't really plan for that. And also it didn't work because this movie is trash. Terrio also said that it took only 30 minutes of discussing the return of Palpatine for everyone to agree it was the right call. Obviously, it was not. You should have spent more time because 30 minutes wasn't long enough to realize that's a terrible idea. But anyway.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Sort of.
It wasn't even like a freaking it's a reveal. No, they just said it in the first freaking in the crawl.
Yes.
Oh my God. Everybody knows throughout the whole damn movie that he returns because they open it in the crawl. That's a very important thing to know. But whatever.
Yeah.
Against that.
I mean, there was, as it was very poorly done in the movie, but there is lore that would back that up in some of the comics and shit. But up until the movie was released, it wasn't canon. So.
Yeah, so it doesn't count. All of the expanded universe was retconned until they said which parts were actually in the canon. But it also doesn't make sense because that also means there's parts that you didn't know. But if you're going into the movie, that's still an important part to show. You can't just say, oh, yeah, by the way, this very important thing happened. Just go with it. And then they just go on their own adventure. That's still a very important scene that should have been included at some point, or at least a reveal of some sort. Not just hey, by the way, side note, this really important thing that is driving this entire movie, by the way. All right, so in November 25th, 2019, it was reported that a script for the film was leaked on the internet. An actor had reportedly kept the script under their bed, changing apartments after somebody was cleaning the place, found the script, and then the person attempted to sell it on eBay. That person was John Boyega, and he admitted to it on Good Morning America. Yeah, apparently he he got the script, put it under the bed. Him and his boys came over while he was moving over apartments, and they got into a party. Some people came over to clean the apartment. They found the script, and he attempted to sell it on eBay. And John Boyega thought it would be a good thing though, so he didn't tell anybody.
Oh my God.
Because he thought, hey, you know what? The fans are going to be able to read the script, and then it won't be they'll be like, hey, that they'll finally get to see some insight about the movie before the movie comes out. Which Disney said, hell no, and immediately bought it to make sure that it never went anywhere.
Oh God. Johnny, no.
Yeah, that was a bit of a mess. Now, Mark Hamill also plays Bulio. Obviously, you probably don't know who that is because they never mention him by name in the movie. Bulio he's the green-horned alien that tells Finn to is like Finn's like, oh, what can we do for you? And he goes, win the war, and then the ship flies off.
Why did you? You saying "win the war" sounded like the little kid from Shrek doing "do the roar."
Oh, win the war. And then he's later decapitated, and his head is placed on Kylo Ren's desk. He literally has the entirety of the movie. He only has 14 seconds in the movie. But that's because it's just a bit of a side character. But Mark Hamill plays him. Plays his voice, and if you listen to it, you actually can't hear him. You can tell that is his voice. It is credited under his pseudonym, though, Patrick Williams, which is a combination of his brother's names. So that's why you don't see that Mark Hamill actually plays that character. It's credited as Patrick Williams. And our last fact of the day, which is going to go out on a high note, I think it's not Rowan. It's Rowan's Hospital, I think. Rowan's Hospice in Hampshire, England, for a fan who wouldn't have lived to see the theatrical release, so he can watch it with his son. Yeah, he didn't live to see the actual release of the movie, so he got to see it a few months early before he died.
Aw.
Sad, but it's a shame that longtime Star Wars fan had to watch The Rise of Skywalker before he died.
Oh, God, Isaiah.
I'm just saying, of all movies to be like, I'm so excited to watch the finale, and then that's what he gets.
Oh, my God.
Before he dies. I'm so sorry. But those are all our facts today.
It's funny how with the sequels, they're significantly shorter for facts by a lot. They're also not as interesting.
No, they're not.
You know, I don't know if it's because it's modern day, so it's there's nothing crazy that they have to do for film anymore, really. But it's just
I feel like The Force Awakens had a lot to talk about because there's a lot of things going on, but this movie these last two just been lackluster, much of what they are.
One of the things I noticed, I think personally, I remember watching The Rise of Skywalker and getting this weird enjoyment out of it. You know, oh my God, there was so much action, a Star Wars film, so on and so forth. But then realizing later, I was telling people, I think you might like it, I think you might not, I'm not sure. I started to realize there was no fucking storyline. They just said Palpatine is back, and all of a sudden they have to kill him. What?
Yeah.
Where did these fucking mythical Star Destroyers come out of from these dead planets? What?
Because the plot dictates so.
How does Darth Sidious suddenly have the power to launch a Force storm so large he disables entire squadrons of Republic ships? What? We've never seen that level of power ever.
Yes.
How? Yes.
That is the answer to any questions you have.
Rey learning Force healing in the beginning when they never even mentioned it in other parts of the anthology.
Yes.
There was plenty of action and plenty of cool shit that they could throw in there, but it was just there was no setup, which was the biggest downfall.
Also, let's just talk about how Chewie fake dies.
Yeah, they just totally teased that.
Honestly, that was, I think, the way they if they had waited a little bit longer to reveal Chewie's survival, it would have made more it would have been a better scene.
Yeah, they revealed it almost immediately to the point where you're like, oh, okay, well now I don't feel any sort of
commitment to anything.
Feeling if they had revealed towards the end that Chewbacca was alive again, I would probably feel something a little more than when they revealed he was alive, you know?
Just 5 minutes, one more scene before you did it, you know?
Yeah.
Are we officially in the breakdown?
We kind of just started segueing into
I think we
it.
just kind of rolled in.
We just slid in smoother than a slap. Okay.
Hey, yo.
Let's start, I guess, then with our overall opinions.
Lou, keep going. You started it.
I remember, like I said, I remember when I watched it, I enjoyed it, but that was the side of me that was oh my God, Star Wars action and lightsaber duels, crazy Force powers, and all this other shit. And also the end of Kylo Ren's character arc, which was nice. Horrible storyline. No reason for Kylo Ren and Rey to kiss.
I was like, who's Ken?
Kylo Ren and so there was no reason for Ben and Rey to kiss at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
If anything, I would expect it to reveal that they were siblings. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then also the fact that we had all this set up for the Knights of Ren to have their own scenes and offshoot, and all of a sudden Ben just kills all of them very quickly. That was also very annoying.
It's so weird because out of all the setups that Rian Johnson didn't destroy, J.J. Abrams didn't continue any of them.
I wonder if he had a plan.
What, a 3-movie plan? Or
I was gonna say, I wonder if J.J. Abrams was well, we'll set up the Knights of Ren in 7, and then in 8 will really
Right.
show what they are. But then that didn't happen. So then in 9, he's like, well, now I don't have enough time to explain them, so we'll just kill them off.
Yeah, like it would have made a ton more sense.
That's true.
Yeah.
But no, 8 had to happen.
Yeah. I
The
feel
side
like
quest.
the reason why 9 was such a failure is because it had to piggyback off of 8,
Build up.
and it had no, they had like J.J. Abrams he had no idea how to
Connect.
go back to his original storyline from where Rian Johnson went. Like if Rian Johnson did all 3, it would have been fine. And if J.J. Abrams had done all 3, it probably would have been fine too. Like it's the fact that they switched back and forth that I think that's where the mistakes were made.
Like, yeah, even Rian Johnson, if he had taken over, at least was told, hey, these are like the story things you need to continue, or here's the threads that we need to be able to figure out. And J.J. Abrams told him, hey, don't end these things, or at least if there was somewhat of a plan. Like, I don't understand how you can plan an entire trilogy over like what 10, like 6 or 10 years, and then just not plan it all.
Yeah.
Because even in the beginning of the movie, it goes from obviously J.J. Abrams is trying to play catch up. It's you can feel it. The pacing is so terrible. It's going so fast. It does not make any sense. Lando just gets dropped in there and is like, oh yeah, by the way, Lando is here. Hey, oh my God, remember me? I'm Lando. Moves immediately to the next scene.
Yeah.
He doesn't exist anymore. And then, oh yeah, by the way, if in the future, Lando's back. Oh no, immediately next scene. It just keeps on going, and like it just hits the ground running, and it just like that's not usually a bad thing if it hits the ground running, because some movies make it work.
Mm-hmm.
This movie hit the ground running and didn't stop.
Yeah.
Because like even like with J.J. Abrams' like way of doing things, right? He has the setups, and then like in the first movie, he had a bunch of setups. Obviously, as he was going to get to the third movie, he was going to do the payoffs to those setups. But Rian Johnson went in the middle and cut it off and said, "No, there are no payoffs. It doesn't matter."
I'd like to add that this movie didn't hit the ground running and keep running. This movie hit the ground running and tripped and just started somersaulting.
This is very true.
You know what this movie actually did? So here's a fun memory that I unlocked just by thinking about this. A friend I grew up with for a period of time had a golf cart in her neighborhood, and like a bunch of us were riding on it. And I decided to jump off the back of the golf cart while it was moving.
Oh God.
But I didn't jump straight back. I jumped to the side and then just kind of toppled over immediately and was like, "Oh yeah, physics."
Oh, big loop.
And that's essentially what the Rise of Skywalker did. It starts off running with like Palpatine's alive, crash from like the first 5 minutes.
Oh yes.
It is because I think like the first 20 minutes of the movie, I was like, holy crap, what the hell is going on? It's going so freaking fast because like the setups and payoffs, just like with Chewie, it would set up something and then it wouldn't even wait. Immediately the next scene would pay off. Like they were like, they were like, get like the quest of like, okay, we have to find the sword or we got to find this planet. The guy was like, oh, it's on this planet where they have this party every 42 years. Immediately they land and immediately they find what they're looking for. The payoff is done. All right, cool. Setup. Oh my God, Lando's here. The setup is we got to go find this dagger or like this ship, right? Immediately next scene, they're in the ship. Like it is the payoff is just so fast.
Rey doesn't know who her parents are.
Yeah.
Maxine, she knows who her parents are.
They were nobody. Lies. It's Palpatine. Lies. It's not Palpatine. He's your grandfather. Your parents were nothing. It's like, what? Where are we going here, people?
Yeah, like all the setups, either the setup and the payoffs were happening so fast that they weren't set up and they were just literally like just scene to scene, or the setups and the payoffs, or there were payoffs to things that were already concluded and they were contradicting themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. That's one of my pet peeves about this movie because the pacing was so bad and the story was so bad because it just didn't make any sense. Also, this is a side thing. Finn's little like, I gotta tell you, I feel the Force in me, and then they just never ever mention it, despite the fact that he was trying to set it up the whole damn movie. So, anyone else got anything to say? Because I can keep.
No, I've said my take on Rise of Skywalker. Honestly.
So then, what do we rate it?
I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5 for the amount of action and entertainment I got visually, and I guess the small amount of emotional payoff I got to watch finishing this anthology. But other than that,
that's fair. I would think I'm also going to give it a 2 out of 5 because I feel like when I first watched it in theaters, it was amazing.
Yeah,
like I was like, oh my God, this was like the best of the trilogy because it was like flashy. the graphics were really nice to look at, and like the scene where Rey is and the like force lightning is up in the sky, like I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. Then I watched it again later on and I was like, holy shit, what is this? Like, it's all over the place. And I think for that reason, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5 because it's like, it's got some points where I'm like, okay, it's kind of cool. But yeah, like Isaiah said, definitely rushed throughout the whole thing. You can just tell it was like, they're just trying to fix it and it just kept getting worse and worse.
It's funny, you gave it a 3.
Yes, I told you that's different.
I know, but even with that, I feel like even with it, just how you're doing that, I still feel like that's high.
A 3.5 out of... Well, you have to remember, I also rated it a 3.5 the minute after I saw it.
So you didn't have time to think about it critically.
No, I always rate my movies right after I watch the movie.
No, I update it. If I remember more things and I slowly... That's what I did with Wonder Woman. The more I thought about it, the more I it started off at like a 4, and then the more I thought about it, the more pissed off I got, and then the score kept on getting lower. Wonder Woman 2, by the way, not the first one.
I also want to just throw in that I thought Ben and Rey kissing was the dumbest part of the entire movie. There was a lot of dumb parts about that movie, but definitely Rey and Ben was like the part where I was like, well, that kind of just ruined everything.
I would also agree with that. There was literally no sense to that at the end. Like, it was like all of a sudden, like the setup for them fighting Palpatine together, and then Ben kind of trying to sacrifice himself for a second.
If it had just ended there and he died that way, perfect arc, perfect story arc.
You know what movie that and realized it was a bad idea?
Wait.
Rogue One, in the end, the two of them were supposed to originally kiss in the end, but they did reshoots and they said that was they said it was not a good idea. They were like, this is not going to work. So they just had them at the end on the beach and they look at each other and everybody expected them to kiss. And you can tell that everybody was really hoping that they didn't because it just wasn't that kind of relationship. And they didn't. And then eventually they just both just died together on the beach. And we were like, that was a good ending because like it worked. There was no need for that to force that kind of relationship out of nowhere. They were just agents. Mm-hmm. They didn't have that kind of relationship. They were just trying to save the mission and get what needed to be done. And they understood that and they went with it. For some reason, apparently nobody in the Skywalker side of things knew how to freaking do that because they had they're throwing a kiss for no reason.
Okay, so what would you change to make it better?
What would I change? I would go back because you can make this into a better movie if you have the right setup. So I would actually, personally, I would somehow find a way to have like J.J. Abrams reshoot Episode 8 the way he wanted, and see how it connects to 9, and see if that they could set it up like that, and then maybe this movie would actually
a second chance, basically.
But other than that, I think like if we had to change it as a movie as it is, there's a lot that could be rewritten.
This needs a whole revamp. I don't think there's anything worth saving in this movie.
The fucking revealing what's his face.
I'm the spy.
I'm the spy. Dies 2 seconds later.
I love how I knew immediately without you having to say. You literally said nothing about what you were talking about, and I knew immediately. You said that one guy says, and then I went, I'm the spy.
That's how you know how close we are, Beth.
Same wavelength.
Hell yeah, brother.
There was one good thing about this movie, and I remembered it, and then I forgot it. Just so that means it wasn't that
one good thing.
The credits.
Not even that, because then I had to see the list of people who were responsible for the monstrosity I just saw. I'm a very big fan of like the treasure hunter genre, like Indiana Jones, Velocity of Z, those kind of things. My main issue though is when those movies have like, there's got to be logic at some points, and one of the logical missteps is when they have like not a map, but like a piece of artwork or a stone thing that in order for any of the plot to continue has to survive in pristine condition in the area that it was in, like the destroyed area that it was for like thousands of years, and somehow it just doesn't get destroyed until the protagonist shows up. Like that pisses me off. One of those things happens in this movie where this dagger that's been around for like who knows, like what, 100 years or whatever, throughout the entirety of Palpatine's reign, tells you exactly where it is, like where the thing is, on a crashed Death Star because it matches up with the waves of some debris in the water on a blade. Like, what? You're telling me after hundreds of years, this pieces of debris managed to stay exactly where they are, and the rest of the ship just happened to stay intact enough so you can get to that exact spot at that exact moment at that exact time, like 100 years in the future?
He's got a point.
It's so annoying. And you're telling me that the Death Star crashed on a planet, and out of the 100 years that whole thing's happening, a single scavenger showed up and actually just walked in on that room.
Death Star was small enough to crash on a planet.
Like, it's so stupid.
It was larger than a moon.
That was a big ass planet.
So, yeah, like, it was larger than the moon.
Yes.
So,
we went over the numbers.
That's no moon. But anyway.
It's a spaceship.
Yeah. I remember the one good thing. I'm sorry. I remember the one good thing. The one good thing was the cuts between when Rey and Ben were fighting, and they were fighting in like two different places at the same time. Yeah, and then when it would cut between the fights, the way they did that was really, really cool. That was the only good thing about this freaking movie, to be honest. Is the one thing that stood out to me was the way they cut and because of those fights. Those were the only that was the only good thing about this movie. The rest is a dumpster fire because of one good thing, it is not going to save it.
I don't remember.
Beth, it's when she finds the helmet, I think. Ben's not actually there, but he starts talking to her, like through their mental link. And then they start to fight, almost like as if they're in their mind or some shit before they fight on the...
I think it's funny though, because like if they weren't, if you were actually there, you would just look at Rey fighting nothing. It's really weird.
Oh, fucking Jedi, crazy ass motherfuckers.
So I'm actually gonna throw in a quick tidbit on that. Because they did the same homage with Luke's force projection, and there's a book I have. Luke is the same person to do it. He does that same force projection, and it takes a fucking shit ton of energy out of him, leaves him basically in a coma afterwards. That's an homage to that. And then I think also, like, in the same scene, no one else can see Luke, right? Like, no one else can see the projection, so they're just watching him fight nothing. This dude fight nothing. His name was Cadus. I'll share the title of the book with you guys later if you want to read it. But it was actually a pretty good trilogy. It's actually where I thought this was gonna go when the movie first came out, and then I watched it veer off in different directions.
Hilarious.
So, yeah, I've said my piece. I don't know if you guys have anything else to add to tonight's episode.
I do not.
Isaiah?
I don't know. No, that's about it. Movie sucked. Waste of my time.
All right. And the Oscars was crazy.
Guys, you know what this means?
Excelsior.
We never have to talk about Star Wars again. I'm excited for whatever franchise we do next. I think it's most likely going to be Harry Potter, but we don't know yet. That's a surprise. Shh, don't say it.
What's our next episode, though? I know we had news.
Yes. Okay, so let me do my little outro for you guys. So don't go yet.
I'm leaving right now.
Don't leave, please. Don't leave me.
Bye.
No, I have abandonment issues. Stop.
God damn it, Isaiah.
Isaiah! Right after I said my issues.
Well, he's back. He went and got milk.
Thank you for listening, everyone. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. And we hope you enjoyed the Oscars. You can follow us on any Instagram, YouTube, iTunes, and Spotify at Silver Screen Sips. Get us to 100 followers across all of those platforms. We are so close, and we are very close to the end of the season. So hurry the fuck up because you guys are taking forever. You can also follow us on Twitter at Silver Screen Sip with no S because Twitter. And also email us your movie suggestions or any questions you have for us at silverscreensips@gmail.com. We post every Monday morning on YouTube, Spotify, and iTunes. Give us a rating on whichever platform you listen to us on, and the feedback helps us. Now, for the news, so obviously tomorrow, obviously next week is episode 10, but there's not a 10th episode of Star Wars. What we're going to be doing for episode 10 is a bunch of fun little games that are Star Wars related, kind of as our season finale for this season. So we will be doing a tier list where we will rate all 9 episodes from best to worst. So that'll be entertaining. And then we're also going to have a couple other little fun games that we will reveal in that episode. Those are a surprise. Also,
because we don't know what they are yet.
shh, they don't know that part. Lewis is going to have a very special drink for the next episode, so stay tuned for that. We are very excited. And the next episode is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do a lot of fun things, Star Wars related, so please watch that. Also, we will be posting a poll on Spotify and on our Instagram with a few different franchises for you guys to pick from that you want us to choose for our next season. So,
Twilight. No.
oh God. Be sure to go put your votes in, cast your votes. And once the polls are in, we will use that for our next season. And yeah. So listeners' episode is April 18th. It's going to be right after episode 10. And I think that's everything. So we'll see you guys in episode 10.
Elsior. You hate me now, don't you? Thank you.
Why do you say it every time?